Well, good afternoon. Dr. Dodge here. Not coated it with the waterproofing yet because I got to thinking I'm going to have to install launch stuff. So here is my launchers. Underneath. And then they just reset. The assembly is a whole crazy clockworky mechanism that I made. This is a counterweight that helps to make it reset on its own. I pull, it puts it down. I wanted a long height on the launcher assembly. Let me get this off of here. A tall height on the launchers because of the height of these off-road vehicles. That's a piece of aluminum, 2 brass hinges, and 2 strips of brass. Of course, anybody familiar with my stuff knows I am into drilling and tapping. So the trigger mechanism is a piece of brass that's sandwiched between 2 pieces of aluminum and a piece of brass square stock. Holds this part together. The whole thing moves fairly simply, and I have a slot in the assembly to control its travel. On this side, it's got a spring that's made out of piano wire. But there it is. I'm actually pretty proud of it. I have a screw there that limits how far it can go, but it's got comes out just about perfect. They are just right there at the very top of it. Swing a car or two for you. So you can see how tall the assembly is on there. Looks like the purple one got a point more than the green one did. Good morning, Dr. Dodge here. We're working on stuff for the off-road track. I have cut this piece out and trimmed this piece up with my trusty bandsaw. He's an old guy, but he's a good guy. So this is then using the tab A slot B construction to put those 2 together. That's so much stronger if you went to glue it together that way than if you tried to glue a single piece on each side. Beauty of it is you can get it glued up, and you see it's a little bit sloppy, but that's fine because I can insert little shims of this same foam. You can see my pile of scrap all over, and I can use it to tighten it up, but tighten it up square. So that's what I'll probably do to set that up, and then this part up here will sit on top, underneath the approach side. It'll probably have to get trimmed away for the launcher and stuff like that too, but we just play it by ear for now. So then the next thing is I'm going to take my drill press and I'm going to set it up to do some routing on the foam. So you can see I have a router bit set up in my drill press. I'm going to cut a groove on the edge of it. I need to go down just a little bit more, I guess. You can see the lines I've got drawn up there. I'm going to do that side and then this side. This side will be trickier because I'll have to hold a piece of something underneath there to keep it level. But I'll just run it in and out of that thing. Highest speed it'll run. So, there's my routed slots in it. There's a groove I cut before. I cut a groove all the way across the front to make the two come together. Then I also dished out the catch box part. And now I've got a rounded type router in here, and I'm going to go around and roll the edges. So here's the piece with the edges rolled now. It probably took 10 minutes to make that, but it would have taken you a lot longer trying to hand whittle that out, and I don't think you would have got it near as good. But I'm a bit I use it a lot for compound shapes on the foam. It works real good. So there our end pieces fit. You can see how that's going to be the catch box. It's going to get a final block back here for scenery a bit. The backdrop will be on this side, so it's just going to be kind of something to help fill in the space when I'm shooting in there a little bit. Not too bad for wear. I beat it up a little bit, flipping it over and all that. I'm going to get one more picture here of my launcher too. Very happy with how that turned out. All right, well, good news is I've got my exterior paint all on him and all that. The bad news is he was supposed to be that color. So we're a little bit off on that. I'm not worried about it. I bought it at my local Ace Hardware store, and those people are great, so I'll go in there and they'll probably cut me a deal on another can, real next to nothing, freaking returning it. But I still am happy I got good coating in on it. It's looking pretty good. First level coating on the catch box. There's the stand. I have such a tiny kitchen, you gotta chase it around for angles here. There's the back side of it now, all nicely painted. And more than that, waterproofed, because that's exterior paint on it now. My little vacuum cleaner guy, which I love, he charges up on a USB port, and for picking up all the little tiny pieces of foam as you're working on that stuff, he just rips it up. But don't expect him to vacuum the floor or anything. He's not real strong for that. But the little pieces of foam he works great with. Well, my paint has cured fairly nicely, even though the color is kind of different. Figured I'd let you know. I laid the tape measure out here, and we are just short of 7 foot total length. So obviously we've got a bow in the middle there that gives it a little bit more distance. What I'm fixing to do is, this edge is ugly, and it's also would be prone to be busted off very easily. So I purchased these things by the box, manila folders. That's what I use for my industrial paper mache. I've made really beautiful bank corners out of it, actually. But what we're going to do here is I have taken a folder and I have dissected the spine and the extraneous. Then I'm gonna turn it sideways. There's two pieces there now. And I'm gonna lop off a whole bunch of freaking short chunks. They will be bonded here, here, and up on top. Or on bottom, I mean. I'll slightly roll the edge of it, which will cover all of these holes. It'll go straight over and then go to the bottom. I'm gonna bond it together with the paint. I might, if it's, depending upon how it behaves, I might use a little bit of glue in there, but probably not. The paint should do fine. Now, I cut the spine out of them, and the beauty of the spine piece is, that's where the fold is, and you can use that as a secondary cap that's got a beautiful edge to it. Or you can turn it around this way and freaking, if you do it artistically, the little ribs will show. Hi, Dr. Dutch. This is what my technique I'm using is. I'm using the new latex paint from the hardware store. They replaced it with no problem. I'm taking these pieces of cardstock, actually manila folder. Fold it in half. Use the end of my X-Acto knife to crimp it good. I put it on my piece. Mop him up. Line my edge, my corner up right there. Over the top of it. Both sides. I'll feather myself down. Make sure you come back against your edge to get paint down underneath it. And then pull it back out to mush it down. And I'll do the same thing again. Take another piece. Try to fold it fairly square. Not perfect, doesn't have to. And I'm using exterior latex paint. So this stuff is actually going to be fairly water resistant, even though it's manila folder. It's actually surprisingly tough outside. Well, all right. I'm at the end of this phase of the operation where I can push this video. But this is our final product. It's got the industrial paper mache that gives it a nice edge on the sides all the way up through. This is actually the side that is going to get the backdrop. The finish is amazing. If you look at the smoothness of that's all strictly from coatings. It's just styrofoam and plywood, and it's just multiple coatings. The main surface right now had, like we said before, about 12 coats of the brown and the wood glue to do a sealing process, and then the main road surface here has got at least 4 coats of the external paint on it now, and I can't tell you how slick as snot that thing is. Amazingly, I mean, it's smooth, and it was just rough plywood that I started with. And our catch box down here at the end. Very happy with it.